Welcome back, Altered Ego clones. Today we're dusting off Tiny Leaders for a game of Grenzo Dungeon Warden versus Marath Will of the Wild. Grenzo is a Rakdos control style deck that looks to get advantage by putting dudes into play for free with Grenzo. And Grenzo is an X-General, so it gets around the whole converted mana cost 3 rule. Grenzo's opponent Marath kinda does too though, as it gets bigger the more times you cast it, without even having to pay an X cost. Marath is going an enchantment route this game. Grenzo goes first and casts the first spell of the game, Bitter Blossom. Grenzo takes 1 damage on its next turn from the Blossom and gets a 1/1 Fairy Rogue. Grenzo then casts a creature I was hoping I would never see again, the Dick Puncher himself, Lifebane Zombie. Fitting name. Zombie exiles Kitchen Finks from Marath's hand. Marath pays a life for Windswept Heath, and on its turn 3, Marath casts Astral Slide. Its next turn, Grenzo attacks for 4 with its creatures. Grenzo then casts Liliana, Heretical Healer. Feeling the board is too congested at the moment, Marath casts Fire Spout, paying both colors of mana into it to completely wipe Grenzo's board. Grenzo pays another life for Bloodstained Mire. More life loss and fairies on his upkeep. Grenzo nukes Marath's only red source with Fulminator Mage. Marath sacks its Evolving Wilds to recover the loss with a Mountain. Marath then casts Centaur Healer for its first creature of the game and gains some life back. Grenzo attacks for 1 with a Rogue Fairy token. Post-combat, Grenzo casts Kiku, Knight's Flower, which makes creatures punch themselves. On its turn, Marath attacks with the Centaur, dealing Grenzo 3 damage. On its turn, Grenzo attacks for 2 with the tokens, and Marath cycles Spark Spray to draw a card and exile one of the attacking tokens with Astral Slide. Marath takes 1 from the attack. On Marath's combat phase, he attacks with the Centaur Healer, and in response, Kiku makes him punch himself in the face. In response, Marath cycles Drifting Meadow to exile the healer to keep him safe. In response to that, Grenzo Lightning Bolts the healer, but Marath is ready with a second cycle land to draw another card and safely exile the Centaur with the slide. At the end step, Marath gains 3 life when the healer comes back. Grenzo again attacks for 2 damage and then finish off the Centaur with Kiku. On its turn, Marath casts Tilling Treefolk to return 2 lands to its hand. Marath takes 2 damage from Sacred Foundry and then casts Lightning Rift, the other power enchantment of the deck. Grenzo attacks for 3 in the air on its turn, and then casts Pack Rat. On Marath's turn, he slides his Treefolk and rifts the Pack Rat. Grenzo attacks in the air again on its next turn for 4. Marath slides Forgotten Cave to slide one of the attacking tokens, killing it, and then pays 1 into Lightning Rift and kills another attacking fairy. So Marath only takes 2 damage from the attack. Post-combat, Grenzo casts its commander, Dungeon Warden, and gives it +2 counters. He lives up mana to activate it 1 time. On Marath's next turn, he casts Seismic Assault, which is pretty ideal at the moment. Marath cycles another land, exiling Grenzo and rifting Kiku. Grenzo uses its ability in response, finding and adding a Goblin Rabblemaster to play from the bottom of its library. Grenzo goes to combat, and in response, Marath throws a land at the Rabblemaster with Seismic Assault, dealing it 2 damage and killing it. Grenzo then attacks for 3 with its flyers. On Marath's turn, he cycles Renewed Faith to gain 2 life, exile his Treefolk, and rift Grenzo now that it's a 2/2. Grenzo uses its ability 3 times and finds Grim Lavamancer. Marath returns land to hand when the Treefolk comes back at the end step, and then throws 1 of the lands at the Lavamancer so he won't have to discard at the end of turn. Grenzo attacks again with a never-ending supply of fairies. Marath once again exiles 1 and rips another when he cycles Drifting Meadow. Marath then takes 2 damage. Grenzo casts Jaya Ballard, which Marath promptly lightning bolts. On his turn, Marath gets in his first attack damage with the Tilling Treefolk. Marath then casts Harmonic Sliver to finally blow up the Bitter Blossom, and then casts Birds of Paradise. At the end of turn, Grenzo casts Kologin's Command to shoot Harmonic Sliver and return Pack Rat to hand. Grenzo attacks for 3 with the last of his fairies, which Marath once again riffs and exiles his Tilling Treefolk with Astral Slide, taking 2 damage. Grenzo casts Pack Rat, and Marath returns Treefolk to play at the end step, getting back Secluded Step and Forgotten Cave. On his turn, Marath shoots the rat with a couple of lands from Seismic Assault, and attacks for 1 with the Treefolk. Marath finally remembers to cast his commander, Will of the Wild. Marath cycles another land, shooting a token and sliding Tilling Treefolk, getting back 2 more lands at the end step. Grenzo plays his commander with an X cost of 1 and attacks with the last fairy, which Marath shoots with Marath. Marath keeps Grenzo's board clear of creatures with white instants and casts Life from the Loam to return lands to hand from the graveyard, and then has enough lands in hand to throw lands at Grenzo's face until he is dead, winning the game for Marath, Will of the Wild. For your recap, Grenzo had an aggressive start in no small part to a Bitter Blossom and Lifebane zombie. It's a bit of a fluke to get Astral Slide and a Lightning Rift out so quickly with this deck, seeing as how there are only 1 of each in the deck, and along with Seismic Assault, they are the 3 cards the deck is built around. Marath can also finish games himself too if you don't draw the enchantments you need. Marath was definitely winning the long game, the very long game, while Grenzo's creatures weren't getting through for enough damage, and Grenzo's inability to kill off the Tilling Treefolk proved problematic. Marath got an insane amount of card advantage off the Tilling Treefolk. Marath was pretty easily able to keep Grenzo's board free of creatures. The notable exception were the fairy tokens, until Marath was finally able to kill it with Harmonic Sliver. Marath's creatures utilize ETB effects to combo with Astral Slide, with creatures like Kitchen Finks and Tilling Treefolk. We hope you enjoyed this game of Tiny Leaders, and if you'd like to check out more Tiny Leaders, you can do so here with the game we played featuring Yasova, or if Anafenza is more your style, this game here. Make sure to come back next time for some exciting gameplay action. Alright.